Sean Haney here with RealAgriculture.com, and we're at the Western Canadian Dairy Seminar, and right now I'm joined by...
Ben Smink from Lely, North America.
You enjoying the show?
Yes, very much so. It's a nice mix of producers seeking for good information, the interaction of producer groups, and industry and science partners. I think it's a nice mix of everybody involved in the dairy industry.
Now, you're giving a presentation today that I find the title kind of interesting. It seems like it would be simple. Mm-hmm. Aligning your goals with the robotics you have at your dairy farm, robotic milker or feeding system. What, does that not happen all the time?
Yes, it happens, but it takes all the stakeholders on the farm to be aware of it. What we see happening is that with these robots we have so many data points per cow, and all that data is not necessarily useful if it doesn't lead into meaningful actions. So what we need to do with all that data is that not only the farmer but also his advisors, his consultants and the industry know how to use that data for the benefit of the farmer. And that means that we have to train our advisors, our nutritionists, in how to use that data, and most of them don't realize what they have in hand.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a misconception with any sort of robotics that, you install a robot, does all the work, you basically put your feet up, drink coffee, and maybe go on an extra vacation.
Yeah, that's a disappointment, because that robot is doing nothing more than milking your cows, and the cows will go there themselves, so that is a chore less to do. The other thing is that robot will generate an awful lot of data, but you will still have to take care of the cows. I mean, cows only produce milk if they are taken care of, and that management of the cows is not going to be improved by the robots. The robot is just going to take care of the milking and collecting that information. So what we see in practice is that the good cow person, the good, let's say, cow manager, is able to have the best results in robots because he can focus more on the cow management job than he can focus on the milking job itself.
You have a sort of a feedback loop here that I'm going to take a picture of and make sure we put a picture of it on the site if it's okay with you.
Sure.
Can you explain that feedback loop? Because I think that's kind of important.
Well, most people think with precision data and precision dairy technology that it is something you use only in a day-to-day basis. And what I'm saying is no, you have to implement your precision dairy tool in the whole management process. When you set your vision for your dairy, when you set your goals for your dairy, out of those goals you also will make an assessment of the critical success factors. And if you know what the critical success factors are, then you need precision technology to cover exactly those success factors. So then you integrate your precision dairy management in this whole management circle, because this is nothing else than, let's say, a normal management circle of observing the situation, making choices about changes, evaluate what you have done, and then make that circle go around into setting new goals and, let's say, working yourself into improvements. And precision dairy technology is not only doing its place in the observation, it has its place in all these steps. And that is what I'm going to try to explain to the people there.
And if you don't do this, there's a very I'm guessing here, but there's probably a very good probability that you look back 2 years later and be like, why the heck did we ever buy that robotic system? That doesn't work. It doesn't provide us any extra milk per day.
Right. And the other thing to that is the nutritionist, as one example of advisors on the farm, the nutritionist knows that there is a lot of data in that system. But if he's not going to use it in his advisory, then I think he is not gearing his advice scenarios in the right way.
So do you recommend that, when you talk about the nutritionists, other stakeholders, basically open up that data? Everybody's got to be able to peer into it and look at it through their lens so that you can make the right decisions.
Right. And those decisions you want to make together with the nutritionist and the veterinarian and the farmer and the robot specialist and in some cases even the financial manager. Because if a good farmer is having monthly, let's say, management or team leaders meetings, and they will discuss together the results they see, and of course the nutritionist has its opinion and the veterinarian has its opinion, but with the data from the robot, that team can make a more educated decision and analysis of the data to set changes and have that feedback coming back a month later to see, okay, what did we achieve?
Yeah.
Did we progress in what we wanted to see, more milk, more solids, whatever it is? And if not, why? Why did we not observe the right things? Why didn't we make the right changes? And in that way you can evolve and step by step improve the results of the farm.
Yeah, and so with the evolution of your business, are you helping sort of enable and be a catalyst to make sure those kind of meetings are happening?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. What we do with the startup of the robot, 3 months before startup, we already start talking not only with the herd manager, but also with the nutritionist and the vet and all the stakeholders on the farm. And we keep doing that after startup. And officially our startup program ends somewhere 2-3 months after startup, because then the machine is milking. And that is where this circle starts to get its place, because that is the moment where we want to go the next step and the next step. And that is where we try to involve all the advisors, including the vet and the nutritionist, in being, let's say, on the farm once a month, of course, but also to change their way they give advice. Because old school type of advice is, hey, I'm going to visit you today, and I'm going to look at the data we have today, and this is DHI data which I collected a couple of weeks ago. I make a decision and I tell the farmer, this is what you're going to do in the next month, and then we'll see you again in 4 weeks and make another decision. But with this equipment, the farmer itself is more knowledgeable. Every single morning he has his dashboard and his data. Every single morning he already sees whether he is moving in the right direction. So you cannot, as an advisor, get away anymore in saying, hey, I'm going to go back in 4 weeks and then I'm going to tell you what's next. You have to tell the farmer in the 4 weeks to come what kind of scenarios he can expect and which ways to walk to achieve his goals.
Well, Ben, thanks a lot. We better let you get to your presentation.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for spending some time with us today, and good luck with the rest of the seminar.
Thank you, Sean. My pleasure.